Welcome back to Drunk on Writing and another fun episode of the Drunk on Writing Show. This is the January 2021 episode. I gotta get used to the. I don't think I've said 2021.
No, first time.
Yeah, that was kind of. I paused there for 2021. I want to give a special welcome to our latest patron, Adam Kane, who is joining us at the fan level. So he just got the latest dissection, the Pet Sematary 1989 film dissection just went up today as we record. I'm very glad that one. Every time I finish up one of the videos, it's just so relieving because I work on it for so long.
He works on it so long.
I do the research, then I do the writing, then I do the filming, then I do the editing. There's a whole lot of steps in it, so it's like every single one was a little baby that I'm just releasing off into the world to go live their life and get watched by people.
Yep.
And in this case, get blocked by YouTube or rather the Ramones. I had 6 seconds of the Ramones' Pet Sematary song made for the movie. Thought it was pretty. Thought it had to be included in there. You would think that would fall under fair use. 6 seconds. It was just. Yep. It was a quarter of the chorus of the song. It was the "I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery," which has been in my head for like weeks. But that's all it was.
Yeah.
Immediately blocked. And not just like demonetized. Straight up blocked. Like you could not. It was completely unable to watch. I'm fine with it getting demonetized. I've had several of my videos demonetized because, I'm talking about movies and sometimes that happens. Blocked it. So I had to remove it. I put in this little banner. It says, I had to remove the 6 seconds of song that I used because they suck. But yeah, anyways, welcome back to Drunk on Writing. Before we really get started, I just want to address the lighting. I had an issue with the 2 dissections ago, the first Pet Sematary dissection, where I changed the lighting. I switched so let me back up a second. All goes back to that video that I did with Jet Setting, the band.
Yeah.
Where my boss, who does this stuff for a living, commented and said, "Oh, you could see the umbrella in the picture." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And sure enough, you could see the reflection of the umbrella. So I was like, he said, "You should change up your lighting a little bit." He gave me some pointers. So I changed up the lighting. That caused an issue with the camera where it wouldn't focus on me because the back was slightly brighter than my face. So it wanted to focus on the background. So played around with it a bit, and you could see all the patrons have seen this in the behind the scenes, but now we have this whole new lighting setup. So we're going to look a little different today. Hopefully better. But I figured,
Hopefully.
I figured, right off that, I hope we're not like, remember when it transitioned from standard definition to high definition, you could just see everything and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
And some people just completely had to change careers. Sort of like that. Hopefully it's not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Kim, I've been talking way too much. How are you doing today?
Good.
Yeah?
Very good. Yes.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I'm pretty good as well. Like I said, I got the dissection done. Did all of the lighting. Made some personal decisions yesterday. I'm pretty
Yes, you did.
Proud of. I don't think I can really talk about them yet.
That's okay.
But it was something I was thinking about for a while, and it was something unfortunately that I had to do, and it kind of sucks. But we'll talk about that again in the future. But it really, one thing it kind of pointed out to me was something I realized, and I haven't really thought about. I never fully actually recovered from getting laid off 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I just never went back to how I was before that. And I was thinking about it, I was like, it really messed me up. It was my first time ever getting laid off.
Mm-hmm.
I'd only gone up, and I feel like I went up into my current job as well, but still, I had to get laid off to get there.
Yeah, but you're much happier now.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love my job. I love the company. I love what I do. It's fun. Every day I just have fun doing it.
Yeah.
But it's just like it made me reevaluate so many things and look at things differently. And like I threw more, I think, into Drunk on Writing to try to help me out, even though, when I was deep in my depression, like I was having trouble just doing this. So I'm definitely on the mend, but I'm not who I was. I'm just like, I'm someone new. Yeah. It caused a very huge effect. I mean, they say that's one of like the most traumatic things a person can experience, right? The getting fired, divorce,
I think they
death.
say it's different for men than women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the layoff thing. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I think. I don't know. You could look it up. I'm sure.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so, yeah. What you been watching? What you been watching, playing, reading?
Gosh.
I mean, I feel like you've been doing so much, and I have very little to talk about compared to you, I think.
No, that's not true. I've been, of course, helping our son with, what is it? Astro's
Playroom on the PS5?
Yeah. I'm doing a lot of that.
Have you? Because I've been doing a lot of it, too. Does he play at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know he gets his own trophies now?
Yeah, you said that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I've been doing that, and I watched The Home Edit on Netflix.
What is this show? Oh, is that... Okay.
That's the organizing show you told me you hated.
I don't hate the show. I don't like that it makes me have to have work.
It has caused you no work.
Theoretically, it hasn't. But theoretically, it also has.
No.
I feel the work coming. I gotta build some shelves or something.
No.
I don't? Excellent.
Anyway. No, you do.
Yeah. There you go.
Let's see. What else have I been watching? I finished The Queen's Gambit.
Did you
say
like
that last time?
I think you started it last time.
Yeah, I finished it.
You like it?
I did.
Yeah?
I rather enjoyed that. Yeah. Yeah. And then I've been watching a lot of, like, little stuff. You know, New Girl. I watched...
I feel like while I was editing Pet Cemetery yesterday, I feel like you started about 20 different things.
I did. Yesterday I just didn't know what I wanted to watch, so I started that 2020 in review documentary on Netflix. I started watching it, and I'm like, I am in no mood to relive 2020. And that's exactly what it does. It, like, you relive 2020, and
It's like that movie about 9/11. Like, I don't want to relive that.
No, yeah.
That was traumatic enough. I don't need to watch a movie about it.
Like, I literally, like, it started with, oh, it's the new year, yay, 2020, like, and then it goes into the wildfires in Australia, and that's when I was just like, no, I'm done. So I didn't get very far.
Yeah.
I didn't get very far. It showed the burning in Australia, and I'm like, this is just not for me.
God, what a year 2020 was.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I don't know. What else have I watched anything else? I really can't recall.
I don't know. Did you?
I watched something and something.
Something and something.
Lily and Dash.
Lily and Dash.
Yeah.
What's
Lily
that?
and Dash on Netflix. It's a cute little rom-com. Two teenagers kind of exchange notebooks without meeting each other, and it's a love story.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, I'm sure Matthew has made me watch quite a few things on Disney Plus. So
we've been watching Home Alone 2 a few times.
Home Alone, yeah.
Was his new thing.
Yep.
He's been playing He's been playing a lot of video games. Like, he's suddenly into video games, which is kind of cool to watch. On my part, outside of New Girl, and Fortnite, and Fall Guys, those have pretty much been my go-tos for the last couple of weeks, because I can do them in little quick spurts. And the New Girl is just that's our night now. All right, we go to bed. We watch at least one episode. I crack up.
You do.
I crack up.
He does.
It's great. It's a great way to end the day. It's fantastic. But outside of that, I haven't really been doing much because I've been working. I've been doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I did start Cyberpunk 2020. Was it 2057? The Cyberpunk game, and it's running on my PS5, so I didn't really have any issues with it. Hard, in terms of bugs, but like The Witcher 3 originally, the game just didn't grab me.
Yeah.
And I was like, at this point, I might as well just wait, because they're doing so many patches and they're fixing it, and there's so many problems with it. I'm like, whatever. So I started replaying the New Game Plus of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh.
And I haven't played that since it came out, so I think I want to say that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's time enough has passed where both it looks old, but I've also forgotten it, and it's fun nonetheless. Like after playing Witcher 3, every kind of game like this just kind of is a tear down because the voice acting, the animations, it's all just subpar, which is astounding. But it's still fun. And it's still cool, and it's a.
And it took you so long to play Witcher.
Well, I played it for 200 hours.
Yeah, but originally, like you couldn't get.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like with Cyberpunk, like I feel like once I get into it, I'm gonna get into it. Especially like once they fix it all up, and knowing them and how they supported Witcher 3, there's gonna be a lot of updates for it, even after they fix everything. Like there's just gonna be stuff that they keep adding. So I'm really looking forward to it, and a lot of people were looking forward to that. It's one of the biggest game launches in years. It's too bad it was marred with such problems.
Right.
Very sad. But I think we've been chatting it long enough.
Yeah. Well, a couple things.
What?
I don't know if they can hear Dixie snoring over here, so I don't think you can see her. She is in between us. I
think she is on camera. I think they can see our third co-host over here.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to mention our lovely sweaters.
Our sweaters.
Yeah. So last episode, I commented that I would like a sweater like Chris Evans had, and while maybe I don't fill this one out quite as nicely as he did, and he had those arms. Jeez, you got me this, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's so nice and warm and soft.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's very nicely made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're wearing not a matching one, but very, very close.
No. No.
I mean, it's got the zigzag pattern.
It does. Yeah.
It's kind of knitted looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it not knitted?
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference.
It is. It's knitted.
This is like a different fabric.
Yeah.
Well, other than that, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the female version. You like this more?
This is a man's sweater, so.
Well, I mean, you don't like that sweater?
No, this is a lovely sweater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we have sweaters. Kim thinks we might look stupid on camera with the two. Like, I don't care. It's funny because we watched Knives Out and I like the sweater.
It's very nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not going to talk any more Knives Out until, I guess, the video club, which we probably shouldn't really talk Knives Out. We should talk about The Irishman. But we're gonna talk about Knives Out anyways because
it's great.
It's a fantastic movie, and we have to rank, so.
Right.
But
what are we getting into now?
So this month is my topic, and I tentatively titled this one "Where We Goin'."
Yeah.
And this, I wanted something a little uplifting to start off the year. I want something to look forward to, really. Post-COVID, post all this isolationism and everything. Where are we gonna go on vacation now? Two supposes here. One, that all the travel bans are going to get lifted at some point, right? They're going to have to get lifted. So we can go anywhere. I'm going to say we can go. There's no bar's the limit. There's no limitation on where we're going to go. But two, also you got to consider the effects that COVID has had on different areas. So like New York City may not be a place that you want to go immediately after COVID's hit because the city is just not going to be what it was at the height of its tourist attraction in the last couple of years because so many places have gone out of business, etc. and so forth. Okay. So those are the sort of presuppositions. So I did a list of 5.
Okay. 5.
I did 5. I'm thinking a lot about vacations.
Okay.
I listed them in my head in no particular order other than closest to furthest. Okay. And I think the last two are both about as equally as far, so they're ish there. So I feel like you didn't come up with 5, and that's okay. So I'll start. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so this is where I want to go post-COVID. Okay? Number 1. Not really in order. And these two it's 2 and 1. So San Francisco / Los Angeles.
I'm sorry, these are closest to furthest?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've been to the whole East Coast.
Okay.
I don't need to go back to there. And there are other places that I would like to go, but these are the ones that I'm
clear across the country.
Yes. These are the ones that I want to go to. And again, these might not be in real order from closest, but in my head they are. Okay?
Oh, Warren's not good at
I'm very bad with geography. But yeah, San Francisco / Los Angeles. And I don't know what they'll look like post-COVID. I know San Francisco especially, and LA. I mean, they've been getting so clobbered with this. But I've always wanted to go to San Francisco. We went into LA for a day.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was pretty awesome. I'd love to. There's just so much history, so much things to see. The beach, it's just great. I mean, there's so much wine country near LA that you can go see. San Francisco, I mean, there's just so much going on there. I want to see like the redwoods and whatnot. And I feel like that it would be expensive, but not terribly so. Mm-hmm. Like especially, I mean, you're in the country. Right. We know what's going on. We can kind of hit up things. We can get a lot of information. So that I think would be a nice in the U.S. vacation that I'd want to go on.
All right.
Do you have any thoughts on one? Or you want me to go again?
I'll
go again.
Okay.
Greenland. Now, Greenland for
what's in Greenland?
Greenland for 2 reasons.
Okay.
One, I want to see the glaciers before they melt. So I could say Greenland / Alaska, but I'd rather go to Greenland. Plus, they got hot springs. And it's just in another country.
So does Iceland, and it's not nearly as desolate.
Yeah, Greenland's got the glacier. I want to see the glacier.
Okay.
I mean, we could go to Iceland, too. Maybe we go to both. I mean, it feels like they're a hop, skip, and jump away, right? It's like going from here to, like, Rhode Island, isn't it? Not that far.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's that far. It's close enough. We could do both of them in one trip.
Okay.
But that's a nice little one, and it's right there. And we can get there pretty good. That's probably closer than San Francisco.
No.
No?
No.
I'm really bad with geography.
Well, I mean, I would love if we're talking in the U.S., honestly, I just want to rent a cabin in like Vermont and go hiking for a little bit.
Okay.
Simple. I am a simple kind of gal. Like
we could probably do that now.
Yeah, I just need to get away, and I love hiking, and that's just.
Well, why don't we do that now?
Because we can. We absolutely can.
I mean, we could do that vacation. That vacation is definitely doable now.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool. We got our next vacation. All right, so while you think of a post-COVID place to go to, I'm gonna throw out this one.
If you only knew.
Now we're getting. So, Poland. I want to go to Poland. We got the hookup. We go with Geoff and Aggie. What's up, Geoff? Geoff, lovely patron. We go with Geoff and Aggie. She's Polish. She knows all the places to go. She can speak the language. She can give us the foods, the tours. She could show us where to go shopping or whatever. I don't know. She's always talking about we gotta go and she'll show us the sights.
Okay. Poland.
Yeah.
All right.
Poland will be cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything?
I would like to go back to France and actually explore France. Yeah.
Now, would you do like various parts of the country, or would you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So not just like concentration on like Paris.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Paris was very nice, but we didn't see most of it, and to see the French countryside would be lovely. Yeah.
All of that like area. Like I would love to go to like Germany or any of those, any Austria. All those places. Yeah. What?
See, like I feel like if I go to Germany, I need like an.
Is it the food? The food is the problem?
Well, definitely food, but that's not the problem. I would deal with the food. But I just feel like I need an uplifting vacation after this. I don't want to go to Germany because if I go to Germany, I am such a history buff. Like, I need to go to...
Okay. That's a good point. So maybe we don't go to Poland right after all of this either.
Yeah. I mean, I could deal with...
Yeah?
I don't know. Maybe one. I don't know. That's some heavy stuff right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So let's maybe skip those. Okay. So we're not going there post-COVID. So cross those off the list. All right. So my next one. Australia. They got the beaches. They got the Great Barrier Reef. They got that big rock.
Yeah.
Ayers Rock, I think, right? It's called.
I'm getting
Trails.
anxiety thinking about this.
So why? Because it's so far away.
It's so far. The plane ride itself would kill me.
We could take a boat.
A boat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We'll give you a Xanax and some Jack Daniels, and you just pass out.
Yeah. Who's gonna take care of the kids?
Oh yeah.
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 Well. Yeah. Well. So.
A beach anywhere.
Hmm.
I would love to take Matthew to Disney.
Oh, what about what was that beach that we went to in Florida? Clearwater? Places like a bathtub with sand. And in a good way. Very nice. Yeah, I could go go back there. Any of those places like Key West. I gotta take you to Key West.
Yeah, I've never been to Key West. That would be fun.
Key West would be a nice relaxing vacation.
Yeah,
That would be pretty cool. But Key West again, and this is where the post-COVID thing, like Key West really relies on the people.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's just part of Key West scene is the main strip, which is all just like it's open air bars and that just play music. And in like maybe in the COVID area, it probably sucks. But post-COVID, I don't know what it's going to be like. So that one's a iffy. I would love to go back to Key West. Key West was awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't been there since I was, I think, 19.
Any of the islands.
Any of the islands.
Ugh, any of them.
My number one, of course,
Japan.
is Tokyo. Tokyo. I want to go to Tokyo. So it's going to be on any travel list that I ever put together. You know, post-COVID, pre-COVID, during COVID, which we can't go there, I don't think, right now. And I wouldn't anyways. But yeah, I desperately want to go there. I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know what this crowds will be like. I think it's not as bad over in Japan, but I think I could be completely wrong about that also.
I haven't been keeping up with it.
Yeah. I try to keep away from the numbers in general, and you pull up the numbers sometimes. I'm like, oh. Yeah. Or I see the headlines on the next number that we pass, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Well, very good. Was that the 5?
Those were my 5 with a few others randomly tossed in. But
okay.
So of all the places that we just talked about, like if we could go to one of them.
Oh.
What's your thing other than the cabin in the woods in Vermont? Because we could totally just do that now, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that this year. That'll be a nice little vacation.
Honestly, Florida, because
Florida. Would you go? How soon would you go to Disney? ASAP.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to go to Disney. It's been too long. I want to go see Star Wars Land.
Yeah,
whatever it's called. Marvel Land. When's Marvel Land? Is that? I think that's just out in California right now.
Yeah, I mean he's at the perfect age, and I think he would love it. And I wouldn't do my entire trip at Disney, but
I wonder if Adventure Island is still in Florida.
I don't know what that is.
It's a water park. They have.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing a water park.
Why?
That's disgusting.
What?
All those people in the same water.
The water is like half chlorine.
No, I don't like public pools.
Man, it was the most fun. It was like formative part of my youth was just me floating around the Gulf Stream is what they called it. It was the lazy river going around Adventure Island. It was fantastic. Just that's all I did.
Yeah,
I was this little fat kid in one of the little inner tubes, just floating. It was great. What a vacation. Talk about relaxing. And every now and then, again, there would be like one of the waterfalls, like the little fake waterfalls, and you get all nice and sprayed on. And it was just, it was nice. Oh, that was great. And meanwhile, you know, my brothers and everything were going on the slides and the rides. And I'm just going to be in the Gulf Stream. Yeah. And that was before cell phones. So then I got lost at one point, and then my brother came and found me, and I was all crying. I was a little kid. I was really young when last time I went there. Probably like, I don't know, like 9. Yeah. Something like that, 8. I don't know, somewhere around there. But that's good. So let's move on to topic number 2.
Okay.
This one comes from our lovely patron, TheCinephiliac, who says, and I'm paraphrasing slightly here, let's discuss how the internet and the increase in self-publishing has helped and hurt the writing industry. He or she goes on to say a little bit more. Personally, I think it has had both a positive and negative effect. It's great more writers can get their work out there more easily, but that also means a lot of bad writers, like myself, can do it as well, which can make the self-publishing industry less credible in some people's eyes. Overall, I'd say the pros outweigh the cons, but would be very interested in hearing your and Kim's opinion on it. So, I have a lot of thoughts on this one, as I'm sure you would expect, because I've, of course, self-published 2 novels. The first one, Sanity's Flaw, I self-published because I got rejected, I think, 4 or 5 times, like a handful of times. It was way too few to actually be a concern.
Yeah.
But I was an impetuous kid. You know, I think when I first published it as an ebook, I think I was just post-college. Was it like 22? I was pretty young.
Were you that young? No.
20, right post-college. It was like 23, right?
Wow. I don't know. I'm maybe losing track of time. I thought you were older, but maybe. Yeah.
2008, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, published it as an ebook then, published it as a physical book years later, and updated the ebook. But I self-published it because I had a feeling, which again is idiotic feeling, that the agents wouldn't get the book, right? Yeah. And I never should have felt that way. If I had found the right agent, they would have understood. You know, it's the book's kind of written oddly, where it's told from the perspective of a serial killer looking back on his crime spree, right?
Yeah.
And it's all. You good, Dixie? It's all written in basically dialogue, and then there's some portions, and it changes it up. But it's a fun book. I really liked it. I stood by it. But I self-published it because I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to be done with it. But I enjoyed the whole thing so much that I then went and self-published my second book, The Nobodies. Yeah. Just because I enjoyed the process. I thought it was a lot of fun. I controlled everything. I didn't really have to answer to anybody. I could present the book exactly as I felt I wanted it to be presented. And that was fantastic. And it wasn't that hard. It didn't cost me anything outside of time. It was just a great thing. And while the big con against this is that you have to market it yourself. Yeah. And that's the issue. The biggest thing about publishing houses is that they market for you. They book you. They get you into bookstores. They get you onto talk shows. You know, you have agents that sell for you. You know, you sign a book and you get 10 grand or whatever it is nowadays. Some people get way more. But when you're self-publishing, every single copy sold is like $6, $7. Yeah. However, it's a flat rate, right? So you're starting off at nothing and trying to build up, instead of when you're going through a publishing house, you're starting off up here already. You already have a leg up, and you're guaranteed so many copies sold, or so many copies printed at the very least. So like there's a huge publishing. Traditional publishing really is a marketing thing. Yeah. And this is coming from someone who's covered professional publishing for years. Yeah. You know, that's what it is. It's you are a New York Times best-selling author. Well, you know what? You don't have to sell that many to be a New York Times best-selling author nowadays. They don't tell you that, but it really doesn't require all that much. Yeah. You just got to make it at the right time. You got to have the right book at the right time in front of the right people, and you'll get there. So I don't think there's really much difference now, except where with self-publishing on the internet, there's no gatekeeper. So you can kind of get it all out there. And the audience, you know, it's straight capitalism. You let the audience decide, instead of having the book publishers say, these are the books that you should read. Which I think is good. I think it's good when publishers and agents do that. They kind of filter it out and say, well, you don't have to worry about all this trash. Read this stuff. But then again, there's still a lot of trash that gets published.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the time from professional publishers. Now, I won't name names here, but I saw a few excerpts that I read from a high-profile book that came out recently.
Okay.
And this book sold gangbusters. The excerpts I read were absolutely horrendous. Just garbage writing. Just terrible writing. There's stuff that never should have made it to print, that never should have made it into a book. And yet there it was, over and over again, in this book that so many people bought. And that happens all the time. Like, some of the most popular books are not well-written books.
Right.
So you can't really go at that either. I mean, it's just, they're books that happen to catch somebody's eye.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think with self-publishing, you have an opportunity to read something that potentially is really good. That I don't know. I don't know what criteria these publishers use to filter, but a lot of really good books have been self-published. So I like that. I like it in that aspect. The biggest downside I see is the fact that, and I know, like, you kind of said the opposite, but somebody's not telling you what to read, because here's the thing: the general public will listen to people like that, right? And so you're going to get a larger audience that way.
Also, yeah, I just said that is.
Oh,
that
maybe
is
I misunderstood.
Oh, I said it's both.
Yeah.
Right. So they're filtering it, but some people like that filter. People like saying, like, these are the books that are worth your time. No, that's definitely a good thing.
I just feel like there's also needs to be like a bookstore specifically for self-published books, right? Like, it's hard to get a self-published book into a bookstore.
It is, physically it is, but like, all my books are available everywhere. Like, you can order it through Barnes & Noble. If you went to Barnes & Noble, you can order it at the store. Any bookstore now has only so much space on their shelves, so they're only going to carry the books that they think that they can sell, because every single book that's on there is money, and that's how they have to look at it, because they're a business. Yeah,
but even like to get it in a Target, or like, that's where people buy books, right? A lot of people. I get people do the Amazon and they have a Kindle, and so I understand that there's that, but I still do think there's a large population that do their shopping in that fashion still.
I think one of the biggest issues, and this has been an issue that has sort of been plaguing trade book publishing for a while, is that books. What was that?
That was my get ready for bed alarm.
Oh, geez, let's wrap this up. Books are, like I said, back to the marketing part of it. Books are a business. The books that are going to sell are going to be the books that generally have a name attached to them. So a lot of the books that you see, the highest seller books right now, are a lot of political books, because all these people are in the limelight. They're all making a name of themselves, and they're talking about topics that the general American public right now is very interested in. So a lot of those are selling. Yeah. But then you get things like Ready Player 2 came out recently. Oh, yeah. Ernest Cline. And that sold a bunch just because it was Ernest Cline and everybody liked his other books. So, like, you have to have almost a brand already. Like if Greg Miller, Kind of Funny, came out and had a book, he would have, like, this audience already kind of built in and say, like, well, I have this podcast, I have so many millions of Twitter followers, that's probably going to equate to approximately this many book sales. Yeah. Somebody like me, who's coming out of the nowhere, you see my name on a bookshelf, you're gonna be like, I don't know this guy, I don't need to buy his book. Why would I even be interested in his book? So it's all about being able to market. It's a business.
I think it just depends on the shopper. I don't buy a book because of an author necessarily.
Why do you buy a book?
I buy a book because, number one, the cover has piqued my interest. Okay. Somebody's recommended it. Or I've read something about it, like, kind of like a movie. Like, I've seen a trailer and it sounds interesting, right? I've heard about this book and it sounds interesting. So,
what was the last book you bought? Do you remember?
A bunch of children's books
for yourself to read.
It was long. I'm not a big reader.
Yeah.
I am not a big reader.
Well, that's what. Yeah.
So I think the last book I bought for myself was Clint Hill.
Oh yeah.
Is it Five American Presidents or The American Presidents? Or I am so sorry, I'm getting that wrong. But I really loved that book.
Now, what made you buy that book though? What made you interested in that book?
Oh God, I don't remember.
Were you watching a movie? You were. There was something else that had already piqued your interest with it. Was it a podcast? Because I don't think you went out of your way to like.
No, I heard about it. I've always been.
Was it your dad?
No.
No.
I've always been interested in specifically Kennedy, and the assassination, and Clint Hill. For those of you that don't know him, is the Secret Service agent that jumped on the back of the car when Jackie went to get the piece of skull that flew off.
Well, that was graphic. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what she was doing. But
wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. But I was interested in him, and he happened to serve for 5 presidents, and his book kind of outlines his time with each one of them, and it's just fascinating. Really good stuff. But again, I like history.
It's true. You do. I just picked up I think 5 of the Witcher volumes. I didn't really plan on buying those. I kind of thought about it for a while, but then I started to really like, again, the covers for these particular editions, and I just wanted to read them. And I got a Barnes & Noble gift card that I completely, when I picked up all these books, I was like, oh, the gift card will cover them. Not at all, but I still bought them. But yeah, for me, it was, you have to know something about
I wish I could remember.
or whatnot. I remember I bought The Devil in the White City because of Timeless. I bought a couple books, I think, because of Timeless. But yeah, it's with self-publishing, it's hard to get that marketing, hard to get that mind share where people are just talking about it in random places. Like, nobody's talking about my book on like a podcast, or there's no shows being made about it. So it's like hard to get people to talk about it. I barely talk about it.
Yeah.
I probably should. At the end of every video, I should be like, "Hey, go pick up these books at your local retailer." And I am working on the 3rd one. I want to try to get that finished for this year. So that's I don't know if I told you that, but that's one of my kind of
2021
reverse goals for the year. But yeah, self-publishing is it's a weird one, but people make money. I remember when I was covering this and tracking the bestsellers, there was this one author, and I'm blanking on the name, wrote romance ebooks, had a whole series of them, sold them for 99 cents each.
Oh, those are like the best ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Had written...
They're mostly short stories.
Many of them. Yeah. Had written so many of them, made millions of dollars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Because people on the Kindle... women,
that's what I used to buy.
Would buy those 99-cent ebooks, and they would get driven up the bestseller list, and people would keep buying them, and it becomes this feedback loop. Yeah. And we tried to reach out to the author, I think, a couple times. Never were able to nail down an interview, but there are success stories out there, and it is a proven working model if you're able to tap into an audience and get a following. Right. So that's really the key. And at that point, if you self-publish, if you publish through a regular publisher, if you publish through Random House, if you publish through whoever, you're going to have the audience. The audience is going to find you. The audience is going to buy your stuff. Right. Or read your stuff at the very least. Some people publish stuff for free. Like we published this lovely video for everybody to watch. So I think generally I think self-publishing is great, and I think it's pros. I think it's only feeding into the whole culture. I will say I don't approve of vanity publishing, and I don't think it should be done. And I think people who charge people to print their books is wrong in every way, shape, and form. So that's my one caveat on all of this.
Yeah.
Do you know about
nothing?
So Vanity Publishing, say I paid $1,000 to get 100 copies of my book published, and then I could go out and sell that book. It's not so prevalent nowadays, but it's still done. They call it Vanity Publishing because it's like a one-shot deal. You're paying your money into it and you have to make it back.
Oh, I see.
So it's like self-publishing, but it's
right.
Particularly this limited run that you just paid for.
Yeah.
And it was bigger years back, but I think it's just an awful practice. I think people who vanity publish generally should not have done that ever. I think now if they had self-published with little to no cost, I think that would be better for them, for everyone around. But I just think Vanity Published is just preying on people and preying on their desire to get their thoughts heard and seen.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my one caveat on that. Yeah. So I've been kind of dying to talk about it. So let's jump into our video club topic of the month. The Irishman. And Kim, this was your pick last month. So what made you pick this movie?
I heard a lot of good things about it. It received several nominations. Critically acclaimed movie. And it was available for streaming, and it had people, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and
Joe Pesci.
Mm-hmm. All.
And who's the kid from he's not a kid. From Breaking Bad. Plumber? Is that his name?
From Breaking Bad.
Yeah. He played he played the son.
Yeah, I don't know his name. I know the actor.
Yeah.
And then it had Ray Romano.
Yeah.
So it had a lot
Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, it had a lot of huge names, and so I was very curious to see it. And that's really why I picked it. Pure curiosity.
I want to thank you for picking this. I've wanted to watch it since it came out, and I'm gonna echo what the Cinephiliac said when I posted this on Patreon.com about this.
Okay.
Who the Cinephiliac said, and I love this. I love this film. Couldn't have said it better. Cinephiliac goes on to say, Scorsese is one of my favorite directors. I've always loved mafia films as well, partially due to the fact that a couple members of my Italian side are connected. The Cinephiliac, don't go out just talking. don't shout out your family members like that. What are you doing? I feel like I'm going to get whacked up in here. This adaptation I really like, even if it is inaccurate to history. Frank Sheeran was a liar and didn't kill a lot of people he tried to claim he killed in the book. There's still a very accurate adaptation of the book, though, even if the book was full of lies. It was amazing to see all the classic mob actors get together for another Scorsese mob film, which, given their ages, is likely the last. I'm super thankful my local cinema got this film in its very limited theatrical release. I don't think I could have lived with myself if I had missed this one. I would have liked to have seen this one in theaters, especially since I've seen all of the other films at some point in theaters. I think I saw The Godfather in a re-release at some point. I don't know if I saw Goodfellas in theaters. I think I saw Casino in theaters, which was one of those movies where I was way too young.
Well, this it was limited release, so it only made $8 million in the box office.
I mean, Netflix just does that so they can get an Oscar, the Oscar nominations.
Yeah. And it was one of Martin Scorsese's highest budgeted films.
Really?
Ever. It had a budget of $159 to $250 million.
Why?
So, I mean, if you really want to know...
Was it all the special effects? Like the de-aging?
If you really want to know the details, I mean, again, you've got a lot of big names in here, so... Is that
what it was? It was just footing the bill for all the actors?
It's a lot of it.
Wow, I'm just surprised. I didn't think it would have been that expensive of a film.
Well,
I mean, I guess you're talking some big names there.
In large part, it was reported that it was due to the visual effects needed to make De Niro, Pacino, and Pesci appear younger at various parts throughout the film. So,
I mean, I thought that the effects were good. I thought they were
think they
very
did
well
a very
done.
good job at making them look younger. I don't know,
I remember when the film came out, a lot of people on Twitter that I follow were like, "Oh my god, it's so bad."
Really?
And so I went in sort of expecting not the best film. Especially, I've seen some classics Scorsese films. I loved this film. This film was so good. Such a somber down note, I think, too, for Scorsese's whole like mafia arc. I think this very much works as a perfect end cap.
So, I'm not there with loving it.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't absolutely hate it. But it was not my favorite film. It's not my favorite.
Wow.
It was very long. I thought it was very long.
It was a long movie.
It was very long.
And his movies are generally pretty longer. I mean, this was sort of like an epic film.
Yeah, of course. I just felt like at certain points it could have been sped up. I felt like it sort of dragged in certain areas. I really did. I felt that way. Like, why do we need this? We don't really need this.
I can understand that. And
there could have been some cuts.
The movie did have a problem with just throwing names. Just a character. Like, this is a brand new character. No introduction to this character. I'm just supposed to know him. They throw in little captions when they all died in like 1980 for some reason. And that was it. Some of them were in like one scene, and all of a sudden, like, I had to worry about them. And, the cast was too big at times. Like, the cast of characters, not the actual casting. And so, yeah, that was problematic. But I thought De Niro was fantastic. I
thought the acting was fantastic.
His facial expression. He's always been a master of facial expression. I was talking to you about this the other night, where you just see him. He doesn't even say a word, and he speaks volume.
Yeah,
with just like this little tick of his face. It's just outstanding. Pacino, I thought, really delivered, which is not something he does all the time nowadays. I think Ray Romano was great. Joe Pesci, fantastic.
I thought Ray Romano was great. I thought Robert De Niro was great. I cannot honestly, I can't think of another Pacino movie I've seen. I know that's really bad, but this is why we were doing this, because I don't see movies.
Did you watch Insomnia with me not that long ago?
Insomnia
with Robin Williams?
No.
Where he's in Alaska? Did I watch that on my own? I might have watched that on my own. Okay. That was a Chris Nolan film. With
so I
Pacino.
don't know. Was he in the Goodfellas?
Was
Goodfellas?
Al Pacino in Goodfellas?
Yeah.
In Goodfellas? No.
Yeah, I can't think of another Pacino movie I've seen. So I don't know. It's really my first experience with him.
Again, she has not seen any of the Godfathers.
Yeah, lots of movies, so. But, this film, I really enjoyed the actual story at parts where I didn't feel like it was dragging. Really interesting. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more about the death. Like, what happened? Like, where did they bury him? Like, I know that's a whole thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that like the whole point? Like,
that's the whole point. Yeah, but where? Like, where would they have thought I don't know.
Isn't it? I remember when I was younger that there was always that theory that they buried him in the cement in Mets Stadium.
See, I didn't really get that. Why would they go? So if he died in Chicago, or is that the whole? Do they not know where he actually died?
I don't know.
Or disappeared to?
See, this is the information that I expect you to bring to the show and inform me, because I don't know any of this. How accurate was this movie? Like, the Cinephiliac's over here saying that the film is accurate to the book, but not maybe historically accurate. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. But I mean, I don't think anybody really. Do they really? I don't know if they know where Hoffa died.
I don't know. While you look that up, I gotta. Because we didn't do it yet. I gotta tell the joke.
Oh yeah,
I gotta tell the joke. Last month I did not tell a joke because I thought Knives Out was too funny and I didn't want to compete with it. Now I laughed a few times in The Irishman as well. There were a couple times where I was like, oh, that's a good line, but it's not crack up funny. So I got one joke today that I'm gonna ask a couple times. And this is okay, because I'm Irish. How many Irishmen does it take to unscrew a light bulb?
How many?
1. He just needs to get drunk and tell the bulb to screw itself. Kim.
Yes.
How many Irishmen does it take to unscrew a light bulb?
How many?
2. 1 to hold the bulb, and another to drink until the room spins. Kim. How many Irishmen does it take to unscrew a light bulb?
How many?
Why bother? We Irish can drink in the dark. That's it. That was the end of it. Well, yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Well, so they don't know. They don't know.
So they don't,
honestly.
They don't know who.
You know, there are some reports that he was last seen in the parking lot of the Red Fox restaurant in Bloomfield Township,
that's where he
Michigan.
got picked up, right?
Yeah, on July 30th.
I mean, what did his son think? Because his son was the one
Remember,
driving
they
the car.
addressed that in the movie. I don't know if that's accurate, but I haven't read up on Hoffa. I haven't read up on this.
It's fascinating. Like, I want to read a book about this now.
Do it. That's what, you know.
See, now going back to our last thing, I want to read a book.
You know, Frank Sheeran. There's one confession.
Is he related to Ed Sheeran?
I have no idea.
Okay, continue.
There's one confession. He claimed to have disposed of Hoffa's body after somebody else killed him. And then there's another confession where he claimed to have shot Hoffa in a car and driven his body to an undisclosed location. So I think, I don't know.
So they don't, I mean.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows. I think that's the whole.
I know they never found the body. I do know
yeah,
that.
So I don't know. But it's fascinating. So I would like to see somebody explore that. Like, this could have happened and this could have happened. But I love kind of like what happened.
I did like that line.
Who done it?
I did like that line in the film. They killed the president. You don't think they can kill the president of a union? Yeah. Like, it really goes to show you like all these different levels. And again, I'm not a big history guy. I don't remember all the facts. I don't remember all the figures. I don't remember all the states. But these are kind of things that fascinate me, and I think I will look into it because I thought it was cool. I just think it was a cool story. I thought it was very, very well told as a film. Yeah. Again, I like the moment that sticks out to me is when De Niro and Pacino are entering the house at the end, and there's nobody there. It's just an empty house, but you see De Niro and he's got the gun already in his hand, and he's like staring right at Pacino, and you know Pacino's looking around and he goes, "This isn't right. We got to get out." And he turns around and De Niro just pa and just shoots him. And De Niro looks like, is anybody gonna come do anything about this? And nobody comes. And and he's just like, okay, this is just me. And he just does it. And he takes care of business and he leaves. And like, this guy was his friend. I know. This guy, he gave him his watch. His daughter
stopped talking to him.
Loved him and stopped talking to him after that day, which I don't blame her. Like, it was just so fantastic. And then I think
at the end he was trying to find the remorse for it. And couldn't and failed, and that was interesting.
And then the ending, just him being old, like in the home, and he's just like, "Can you just leave the door open a little bit?" Yeah. And it's just such a sad ending for this guy, and it's just like, dang.
Do you think they did a good job making these people look younger?
I think they did. Yeah. I think
because we know what they looked young. Like, that's the interesting piece, right? We know what these people look like younger.
I don't think young De Niro in this film looked like actual young De Niro, but he looked like young De Niro of now De Niro. Like, he looked like the younger version. Like, if they showed young De Niro as he looked in, like, Taxi Driver, right? He looks a bit different. And it wasn't a one-to-one creation, but there's like, it's almost like a 50-50 between how De Niro is now old and how he was back then young. Taxi Driver? Was that De Niro? I feel like that was De Niro. Was that Pacino?
I don't know. Never.
I don't know. I'm mixing them all up now in my head.
What about Pesci?
Raging Bull? There we go. Pesci? Well, I couldn't figure out which was the real Pesci. I think the one where he looked like he was like in his 70s-ish was the real one. So that there was one point where I think De Niro and Pesci both looked as they actually do, and then they made him look older and younger. So I think there was that one point. They were talking with Tony. Was it Fat Tony? I think his name was. They were in his restaurant. I think that was them normal looking. I think Joe Pesci looked good. Certainly, like, I watched a clip from My Cousin Vinny the other day. Certainly doesn't look like he did in My Cousin Vinny anymore. But, time's a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? And I said this, we watched this movie, and then the very next day, our son watched Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
And, I thought, wow. Yeah. I mean, people get older, and, but it made me think about that question, like, he had a lot more weight on him in that movie, at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's thinned down a lot.
And he's thinned down a lot. And they didn't really beef him up in terms, in that way. They made him look younger, but they didn't beef him up.
Well, I feel like that's harder, even.
It's harder. Yeah. So, just something.
Also, might not have been true to the character,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, like, what direction they were going in. Yeah. And maybe it's not appropriate that they did that, but it just made me think.
So, now, you said you didn't love this film.
No.
I rather loved this film. So, I want to go into the ranking right now. So, our ranking as it currently stands. Number 1, Back to the Future / the Back to the Future trilogy. Number 2, Knives Out. Number 3, El Camino. Number 4, Free State of Jones. Number 5, E.T. Number 6, Nightcrawler. Number 7, Lights Out.
Okay, where do you want to put this?
I, personally, would put this at number 3. Below Knives Out, above El Camino. I just think this was a very well-told, well-acted, well-scripted, well-put together film. You didn't even let me finish arguing, and you're just going to agree with me? All right, fine. All right, so our new ranking now is number 8, Number 8, Lights Out. Number 7, Nightcrawler. Number 6, E.T. Number 5, Free State of Jones. Number 4, El Camino. Number 3, The Irishman. Number 2, Knives Out. And number 1, The Back to the Future trilogy. Kim, you're staring at my notes on my phone, which I don't like because it includes bits that we haven't gotten to yet.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even say.
Yes, this is my whole show notes right now. What do you think I look at my phone? This is
Does
the
it
whole
have our
outline
next
for the show.
movie?
Yes, it does have it right where my thumb was. I was trying to block it as you were trying to read it.
I did not see it.
You don't look at my phone.
I was looking at the 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, so
all right. So my pick.
Yeah.
For the next time, and before we get to that, do you have any final thoughts on The Irishman?
No, I think everything I've said.
Yeah. I think I wrapped it up pretty nice. I thought it was just a fantastic movie. I want to watch it again. I would like to watch it in sort of like the I kind of want to watch all of them. I want to watch the Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino, The Irishman. I think there are a couple others in there that are like real high notes. Just kind of get a feel for all of the classic mafias,
right?
Because it's just been a while since I've seen most of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, anyways, we have now watched 2 rather well-acted, nuanced films.
Oh, no.
Nuanced performances. So, I felt like it was time to change it up a bit. Do something a little bit...
watch something terrible?
No, do something a bit more straightforward. It's not going to be up there. It's not going to be number 1, 2, or 3, I think, on our listing. But it's a good film, a fun film, an enjoyable film that was part of my childhood. But I will talk about it more next time. My pick for next month, 1996's Independence Day. Now streaming on HBO. That's right, Independence Day, Kim. You knew it was coming when I found out you had never seen it. How have you not seen Independence Day? Come on. We'll talk about that more next time.
Okay.
But for now, we're going to jump into our patron-exclusive ending, where we're going to play a fun little game. I kind of, like I said, I wanted to bring some positivity to this year. So we started off talking about vacations. We're going to end by playing a game called Password.
Warren had never heard of this game.
I have never heard
this afternoon.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited, and this will be a fun test of our communication skills. I can't wait.
And just in case others have not heard of this game, this was a game show back in the 50s, 60s. I don't remember the actual time frame.
Yeah, you showed me a clip with very young Betty White on it.
Very young Betty White and her husband. So,
yeah,
it's an actual show. You can look it up. It's clips on YouTube and the Game Show Network. It's fantastic.
So that's what we're going to do. But for everyone else out there right now, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening along. Please leave your thoughts and comments on any of our topics in the comments below. I read all of them and love to hear from all of you. And please suggest topics for future shows. You know, we'll sometimes reach into the bag and pull something out just for fun and shiggles. And I noticed the other day that since we have a new patron, we're getting a little closer to the first Patreon goal, which is expanding the patron exclusive part of this show into its own full recording that we would record like another night. So we're getting pretty close to it, which kind of has me excited. So something to possibly look forward to in maybe the not so distant future. So thank you all for watching. And until next time, cheers and keep on riding.